Chunky is back. He proclaimed his redemption to the flocks of Saturday Night Owls as he and the American from whom he had just retrieved his world title took a ride to hospital together along this fabled strip. Only James DeGale and Caleb Truax were passengers in that ambulance, mutual respect having been restored as well as pride in the IBF super middleweight belt to its rightful owner. Yes, Chunky is back. From the brink of premature retirement to a panorama of glittering possibilities. With another rematch, the most enriching of all against George Groves, beckoning at the end of the year now that both of the Londoners hold world titles. Before that, later this summer, DeGale looks to be heading back to America for a title unification match with David Benavidez, the young, unbeaten, knockout holder of the WBC title. Such are the rewards for men of oaken heart as well as silken skill in sports' most brutal workplace. DeGale needed both in large measure to wrest a decision which, although unanimous, had been rendered so close by the deduction of a point late on that he needed a monstrous effort to claim the decisive last round on the scorecards of the two officials who had them even going into the 12th. How much do you want it? His trainer Jim McDonnell yelled at him in those closing 3 minutes. Plenty, came the answer from a man whose face was a mask of blood from the third round onwards after an uppercut followed by a headbutt from Truax had opened a gash above his right eye. DeGale never stopped answering the challenge, even though he would say later, "I couldn't see out of that eye for most of the fight." Still, his focus never wavered. Not that he won in the dominant fashion he had been demanding of himself. The matador DeGale had to dance around the bull after being gored so early, while attempting to impale his squat, strong opponent with his rapier counters. For all the guts, it was guile which prevailed in the end. This is supposed to be boxing, not only brawling, after all, and DeGale is an exponent of the nobler arts of the ring, of defense as well as assault. His salvation came with an amalgamation of the two. The worry was that a full set of American officials might end up favoring aggression over accurate punching. It is to their credit that they sat in impartial judgment, one of them going so far as to score 117-110 in DeGale's favor. The two others had him winning by a point, 114-113, as did I. It was just as well that he started well. DeGale landed enough jabs in the opening exchanges to demonstrate that his right shoulder was no longer suspect. Further proof of that would come in the 10th, as referee Robert Byrd took a point from him for persistently using that very shoulder to repulse Truax's rushes. The cut altered the complexion of the affray, to gushing red, but Truax said later, "James still didn't let me get my shots off." DeGale commented, "I've gone from thinking what I might do after boxing to seeing that there's a lot of big opportunities for me now." Redemption had not come in one of the headline venues in Vegas. Apparently you can take a siesta on one of Elvis Presley's old beds in the Hard Rock Hotel, but DeGale had not been able to put Truax to sleep on a rock and roll night. Just as well, perhaps. The gallantry of Truax required DeGale to prove in several and varied ways that he is back. Watch out St. George and young Benavidez. The batteries of the most deadly toy in the world have been recharged.